Now at 6, Joplin police arrest 4 people after a SWAT raid on a home that's drugs and weapons. Plus, a Carterville man learns his sentence for meth distribution. And some Christmas tree farmers in Missouri might have to deal with a shortage this year.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Better Business Bureau has issued a warning for people intending to use a moving company service. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. The warning from the BBB comes after a Joplin resident filed a complaint. KOAM's Anthony Saviello joins us in the studio now with more.
Thanks, Dow. Recently, a Joplin resident found herself in a difficult situation after hiring a St. Louis-based moving company through a third-party broker. When it comes to moving your valuables, you want to make sure you can hire a company you can trust. However, sometimes that trust can turn into a scam that can cost thousands. In a recent case, a company quoted a Joplin woman just under $3,000 originally. The customer claimed she put a down payment of nearly $1,200 to lock in the quote. However, the day her belongings were loaded to be moved, her original price was hiked to just over $4,000.
And consumers were telling BBB about being overcharged for moves that were arranged through moving brokers, about not getting refunds for missing or damaged items, about not getting any kind of communication, that simply if they tried to reach out to We the Best Movers, they weren't talking to them about the situation.
In a statement released earlier today, the Better Business Bureau, quote, advises consumers to use caution if doing business with We the Best Movers, LLC, a St. Louis-based moving company. The statement went on to say that We the Best Movers, LLC has an F rating, the lowest on BBB's scale due to several recent unanswered complaints. The business also has received recent negative customer reviews. We spoke with BBB Regional Director Pamela Hernandez about what advice she has for people trying to avoid similar situations.
So they need to do their research. They can go to bbb.org to check out a company, but to not just research the broker, but they also need to find out who the actual mover is going to be and research them as well. They can also contact the U.S. Department of Transportation to find out more about the companies to see if they've had any issues.
The company is organized by Edis Sekic, who is currently a defendant in a lawsuit filed by the Missouri Attorney General. We did reach out to Mr. Sekic. We have not received a response. Back to you, Dow.
Anthony, thanks. Authorities in Joplin today arrested 4 people after searching a home and finding drugs and weapons. Happened just before 10 this morning at 3042 West 15th Street in Joplin. Joplin SWAT and the Ozarks Drug Enforcement Team served a search warrant at the home. In addition to the drugs and firearms, they also recovered, they say, a stolen motorcycle. Authorities arrested 2 men and 2 women at the scene. Police in Iola, Kansas confirmed that a man wanted on charges of a child sex crime died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound after refusing to leave a house during a standoff with officers. Law officers surrounded the home on East Jackson Avenue and evacuated nearby homes last night. After a roughly 30-minute standoff, they heard a gunshot, then found that 22-year-old suspect dead inside. A Carterville, Missouri man is going to prison for intention to distribute methamphetamine. A judge has sentenced 44-year-old Cody Goucher to more than 15 years. According to court documents, Goucher's criminal history includes prior convictions for assault, property, and drug crimes. It's not every day police get involved in a high-speed chase with a house. It's probably why this dash cam video released by the Excelsior Springs, Missouri Police Department is getting so many views on social media. Police tried to pull over a pickup that was hauling the mobile home as it was weaving across the road, and the chase was on, about 30 miles an hour. When the driver tried to make a sharp turn, whoops, went off the road. Police, of course, then made the arrest. You can see the entire video release along with police narration. You really have to hear this. You'll find it at KOAMnewsnow.com. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Wednesday for us today, warmer than what we have seen over the past couple days, as most of us warmed up right around 60 to about 63 degrees. You can see our southern counties are a little bit warmer, and it looks like we're going to have a pretty nice evening. Now, it's a little breezy out there. We have our southerly winds, which are picking up just a bit, so we're getting winds kind of in that 5 to 15 mile per hour range, but at times we're going to have gusts 20 to about 25 miles per hour as we go through the overnight hours. We do have our next storm system, which is starting to rotate in. So that's why we're getting some mid and upper level clouds, but it's spinning right off the coast of California near Los Angeles. So that system is going to race toward us, and that's going to give us chances for rain as we go through the next few days. Now, the evening looks fine. We slide back through the 50s into the 40s. Rain chances increase tomorrow. We're going to be talking about that here in just a bit.
Doug, we'll see you soon. If you don't have your Christmas tree yet, well, you might want to find one soon. Some tree farms are experiencing shortages this season due to changes in the industry and dry weather. Alex Love talked to some Christmas tree farmers in the Show Me State.
Right now, we are closed for the 2023 Christmas season.
In just 8 days, Mike Hafner and his team sold more than 2,100 Christmas trees, which was all he had available, ready to be chopped down. All over the nation, he says farmers are experiencing similar shortages.
A lot of the growers did not get a whole lot of growth, especially in those crucial months of May and June when those trees need to be growing. They weren't receiving enough moisture. And I also do some business with a grower up in Michigan. He experienced the same thing.
This year, Hafner is downsizing his Christmas tree business to pursue a new career, which is another trend he sees creating a shortage as more growers leave the industry.
What happened in 2008, a lot of folks got out and they have not gotten back in. I can tell you it's extremely difficult in order to get a contract right now to have Fraser firs shipped.
This year it only grew about that much.
In Lenexa, George Hess estimates he has about 50 trees left on his farm that are in the proper stage to be sold off.
This year I lost somewhere in the 20 to 30 seedlings, didn't make it through the summer.
Because Christmas trees take several years to grow to the ideal height for customers, Hess believes this shortage could drag on for years.
When you compound the fact that it takes 8-10 years to grow a tree, that means, 8-10 years ago there'll be, that many less trees that'll be ready for harvest.
Now, if you are determined to have a real Christmas tree this year, do your homework, look around. There are a number of Christmas tree farms right here in our area. Coming up later, the CJ Classic Girls Basketball Tournament continues in Bulldog Country. John's going to have the latest on the night's matchups. But first, a cyber attack across 6 states, including Kansas, impacts hundreds of healthcare providers. A cyber attack on a healthcare chain affected hospitals and patients from New Mexico to New Jersey, including some in the Sunflower State. More than a dozen emergency rooms were effectively shut down in recent days, though they are now reopening. Nicole Skanga has details.
They informed me that my procedure for tomorrow had been canceled.
J.D. Bloomer has had annual cancer checks since he was diagnosed back in 2008. But last week's cyber attack turned his routine visit in Topeka, Kansas into a scheduling headache.
I asked, okay, well, when will we be rescheduled? And she says, when the network returns.
In a statement Monday, Ardent Health Services said it first became aware of a ransomware attack on November 23rd, and its technology team proactively took its network offline. Adding, in an abundance of caution, our facilities are rescheduling some non-emergent elective procedures and diverting some emergency room patients to other area hospitals. Ardent has not announced a timeline for when it could be resolved. But with 30 hospitals and more than 200 healthcare sites across 6 states, the attack is likely to cause a ripple effect impacting nearby hospitals.
What we decided to call it was a blast radius.
Dr. Christian Demeff is a hacker-turned-emergency physician who saw firsthand how a ransomware attack impacted his San Diego hospital after a 2021 hack crippled a nearby facility.
We saw 3 times the number of ambulances one day than we ever had before because of a ransomware attack in our community.
So far, at least 299 hospitals have suffered ransomware attacks in 2023.
Life-threatening, time-sensitive medical conditions like stroke, trauma, heart attacks, all of these minutes truly matter. And when these systems are down, we can't do our job effectively.
Nicole Skanga, CBS News, Washington.
Now, Arden says details about any patient health or financial data being compromised cannot be confirmed at this time. Doug's forecast is next, and a little bit later, as college football season comes to a close, many players and teams are looking at potential transfers. John's going to have details for us coming up in sports.
Well, it turned out to be a nice Wednesday for us today. Quite a bit of sunshine, then warmer than what we have seen over the past couple days, and it still looks pretty good out there for us right now. We have, in a sense, clear skies. A few mid and upper level clouds have been increasing just a bit over the past couple hours, and we're going to see that trend as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. But only lower 50s for highs yesterday. Today, you can see we made it into lower 60s. So heading in the right direction. Unfortunately, we're going to go back in the other direction as we go through the next few days. All right, if you're going to be out this evening, we are going to be dry. Clouds will increase. We'll drop back through the 50s into the 40s. I think most of us will bottom out into the mid 40s for overnight lows. But the winds, they're going to start to increase. Look at our southerly winds. They're going to be gusting 20 upwards to 30 miles per hour by dawn, and then they stay fairly strong throughout the daytime hours tomorrow. So all day long tomorrow, we could have winds gusting kind of in that 20 upwards to 30 mile per hour range. So if the trash can's outside, you may want to bring it in, as it's going to be a little bit on the breezy side. Mid and upper level clouds starting to increase across the region ahead of our next storm system. It's a weak wave, but it's going to gather some Gulf of Mexico moisture and give us chances for rain as we go through the next few days. It's spinning right off the coast of California near Los Angeles at this point in time. Again, it doesn't have a lot of moisture right now, but it will start to pick up some moisture as it heads toward us. And we actually have several waves which are going to head toward us as we go through the next few days. So here comes wave number one, moving in on Thursday into Friday. A second wave over the weekend. It's not going to have a lot of moisture, but we may get a couple showers. We get another wave that passes by early next week, and then the pattern picks up again late next week into the following week. So at least we're into an active pattern. We got rain and snow this past week, and rain moving in once again. All right, a few random showers late tonight into tomorrow morning, but most of you will stay dry tonight. We'll drop back mid 40s. As we go through the day, showers will start to pick up, especially in our southern counties. But it's tomorrow afternoon the rain really increases. Look at this. This is 5 p.m., so if you're heading home from work, it's going to be wet out there. Rain pushes into Parsons, Joplin, Monette, Miami, Bonita, really increasing widespread through tomorrow evening into tomorrow night. We could even have a few rumbles of thunder as showers and a couple thunderstorms continue to push through all the way through Friday morning. And then as we go through the day on Friday, any rain that is left over will start to push out of the region, and we're going to cool right back down. All right, so not super heavy amounts of rain, but at least decent amounts. I think most of us kind of in that half-inch to 1-inch range, which is good. Here's your day planner on your Thursday. Rain increasing through the day, but high temps only right around 52 or 53 degrees. So it is going to be cooler tomorrow. Only 49 on Friday. Back to 60 on Saturday, 57 on Sunday. Temperature is pretty good all the way through about the middle of next week. We need the rain, and it's good that we're going to get some over the next couple days.
Can't argue with that, Doug. Thanks. Still ahead, Aurora girls basketball tries to continue its hot start to this season, and Arkansas football might be losing its starting quarterback. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
Today's day 3 of the CJ Classic Girls Basketball Tournament. Now, Carroll Junction is off after the Lady Bulldogs win 2-0 in pool play. They'll await their next opponent in all likelihood. Today's day 3 of the CJ Classic Girls Basketball Tournament. Now, Carroll Junction is off after the Lady Bulldogs win 2-0 in pool play. They'll await their next opponent in all likelihood in the first place game. McDonald County and Neosho are back in action this evening, though. The Wildcats play tonight after losing their first game of the tournament to CJ back on Monday. Lady Mustangs just got a convincing win over Nevada yesterday. Now, the first game of the evening is McDonald County taking on Springdale, who's making the trip up from Arkansas to participate in this tournament. That contest just finishing up now. Tipped off at 5 p.m. We'll have the highlights from it tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14, then again on KOAM News at 10. Second game of the night, Neosho faces Parkview. Both of these teams' first game was a loss to Carl Junction in this tournament. Both of them led early against the Lady Bulldogs before ultimately falling. The Vikings will likely be without one of their best players, Tara Maston, who went down with a scary injury last night. We'll have highlights from this one as well at 10. Over to the People's Bank of Seneca tournament. The biggest story from that one in the first couple of days of competition has been the Aurora girls basketball team, who's taking the season by storm. The Lady Bulldogs, or the Lady Hounds, won their first game 72-30 over Buffalo. Then they last night topped that, taking down Southwest 81-10. We'll see if Aurora steps up its game another notch tonight. They face the host team Seneca. The Lady Indians just lost last night to the same Buffalo team that Aurora beat. Game tips off at 7:15. We'll keep you updated on that final score tonight at 10. College football season wrapping up, and as some players and teams are preparing for the postseason, others are looking ahead to next year in the transfer portal. One of those being Arkansas QB KJ Jefferson. The 3-year starter at quarterback for the Hogs enters the transfer portal today. Now this coincides with U of A bringing back former head coach Bobby Petrino as an offensive coordinator. Under the direction of Pitt State grad Sam Pittman, Razorbacks went 4-8 in 2023. Jefferson started every game at quarterback for Arkansas this year. And as a number of schools look at bringing in a quarterback through the transfer portal, Nebraska head coach Matt Rule mentions those without a strong NIL backing are playing from behind.
Make no mistake that a good quarterback in the portal costs $1 million to $1.5 million to $2 million right now. So just on the same page, right? So let's make sure we all understand what's happening. So there's some teams that have $6 or $7 million players playing for them.
That's all for sports. We're back right after this.
Up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14, we're going to look into concerns about what some say is an increase in stray animals in Knoll, Missouri after the Tyson plant closing. Plus, the Spiva Center for the Arts in Joplin hosts an art exhibit featuring work from local residents with disabilities. And a look at the debt Americans are building as they shop for gifts this holiday season. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course, is coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports. Just download the KOAM News app. It's free of charge. Apple App Store, Google Play Store. Just search for KOAM News app. Hey, we brought you the story earlier this month about a couple of Miami locals bringing back a Christmas tradition that dates back to the 1940s. Well, their efforts can now be seen in the heart of Miami. The 36-inch diameter spheres designed by Colby Allen and Bill Osborne are on full display along with the rest of the city's Christmas lights. You might want to check them out. Here's Doug.
Well, clouds are going to increase for us tonight as we drop back into the mid-40s for overnight lows. Our southern counties may get a few random showers late tonight into tomorrow morning, but rain increases across the region tomorrow, especially tomorrow afternoon, late in the afternoon into the evening, periods of rain tomorrow night through Friday morning and cooling down the next few days.
Doug, thanks, and thank you for joining us. We're going to see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.